All right, let's take a look at these partial chords with hammer-ons. In order to create interesting content for your solos, you need to be able to add hammer-ons or slides or pull-offs into your partial chords or scales in order to create ornamentation to make interesting solos. So let's take a look at these. All right, so the first partial chord we're going to use is our F-shape G chord. Now, we normally hold it like this with index and pinky into our F shape, or partial F shape. What we're going to do is keep the pinky on first string, 5th fret. We're going to place our middle finger now on 3rd fret, 2nd string, and we're going to be hammering on from our from our index into our middle finger, and that's 2nd fret, 2nd string, into 3rd fret, 2nd string. It's basically your Foggy Mountain breakdown hammer on, but we're going to have this higher G note in there, and it's going to sound like this. So what we're using is a Foggy Mountain roll. So we're going to start by start with our index finger on the right hand, and right when we pluck that 2nd string, we're going to hammer on from index to middle into the 2nd string. That's 2nd fret into the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. It's going to feel kind of like a stretch way down here. Generally, I'll be using this a little farther up the neck, but I still think it's a good idea to start it low. That way you can cover the whole fretboard, because this can be a movable idea. You could move this up a whole step and make an A lick. Or you could move this up to a D and have a D lick. So just to show you, you can get a lot of miles out of this idea by just moving it around. So anyway, back to the lick. We're going to do index plucks the 2nd string, hammer on, index to middle on the left hand, middle hits the 1st string, then we do the hammer on again, we pluck with thumb, middle hits the 1st, and then a forward roll, strings 5, 2, 1, 5. All right. So there's one little small lick. That could be a lick right there. So that's lick number 1. All right, the next shape is going to be out of this D-shaped G chord, and you can hold this multiple ways, the Sally Gooden position, but in order to add this hammer on, what we're going to do is place our pinky on 1st string, 9th fret, middle finger, 2nd string, 8th fret, and again we're going to be hammering on from index to middle. Index is going to be anchored on 7th fret, 2nd string, and we're going to hammer into middle on the 8th fret. And here's the lick. So it's the same exact phrasing as the first lick. Actually, every one of these are phrased the same way with this Foggy Mountain roll. So we're going to hammer on. We're plucking 2nd string with the index. Hammer on. Keep the roll going. Hammer on with the thumb. And then that forward roll again. And that is the partial D shape hammer-on. All right, now the 3rd lick is going to be out of this bar shape, but we're going to be holding it how we held our partial bar shape G chord. Middle finger is going to be 1st string 12th fret. Ring finger, 1st string 12th fret. Middle finger anchored on 2nd string 12th fret. And again, index is going to hammer on from index to middle on the 2nd string, and that's from the 11th to the 12th fret. Same phrasing as the previous 2 licks. Start that with the index again. Hammer on. Then our forward roll. All right, now the last one with the Foggy Mountain roll is basically the octave of where we started. Pinky is on 1st string 17th fret. Middle finger is going to be on 2nd string 15th fret, and we're doing the same exact roll. So that's all of the 4 positions, or it's really 3 positions with the higher octave, and that's all with the Foggy Mountain roll. So let's look at the forward roll. All right, now what we're going to do is the same idea. We're going to be hammering on from index to middle, and what I'm mostly going to show you is the roll. So here's our forward roll. Thumb on the 2nd, middle on the 1st, thumb 5th, index 2nd, middle 1st, thumb 5th, index 2nd, middle 1st. Now with this particular piece of content or lick, we're going to do the hammer on. These are the same positions, and we're just going to hammer on to that first note. This would be a good way to start a solo. Adding these hammer-ons, slides, or pull-offs is what makes the content a little bit more exciting than just playing a partial chord with a roll. You get more interesting timing going on and more notes to hear. So what we're going to do is do that roll, and the very first note is where we're placing the hammer on. The same thing, index to middle finger. So here's our first lick. Here it is a little slower. All right, now the next one, same thing on this partial D shape. We're going to be hammering on from 7th fret to 8th fret, and we're going to do that on the first note of this roll. A little slower. Okay, now we're going up to our partial bar chord, same roll. And now the last one, our partial F shape again. So just remember, this is happening on the first note of that roll. Okay, that was all of our hammer-ons for our partial chord Gs. So what you could do as an extra exercise to really help you understand how to use this in solos even more is to try this with all those combining partial chords exercise. So this is some homework that you can do on your own. So for instance, you could come up here to this second set of partial chords where it goes from the G to the C to the partial D and then this G again. And you could try adding these hammer-ons into every one of these shapes like this. Or way up here at this 12th fret. So anyway, when you start to add those hammer-ons into these shapes, that just starts to sound a lot more like authentic Scruggs style up the neck playing. You can also do slides, you can do pull-offs off of these chords too. So it's kind of up to you to be creative and try things, you know. It's all about exploring this content. So I'm giving you a few ideas, and I'd like you to kind of go through it and see what you can come up with on your own. So work on all these hammer-ons, and we'll see you in the next lesson.